Hello, my name is Jenny McNeill and I am the Lead Midwife for Education at Queen's University Belfast. I'm delighted to welcome you to this session and I'm very pleased that you have joined us to find out a little bit more information about midwifery at Queen's. So I would like to welcome you to Queen's. On this slide you will see our vision in the university, which is to provide a learning community committed to excellence in teaching, research, scholarship and practice that contributes to local international efforts to improve the health and well-being of each and every individual member of society. And I think you'll agree with me that that really resonates well with our programmes in the School of Nursing and Midwifery, where there is so much focus both on practice and theory in order to make a difference to people's lives. So the university itself has been long established. It's one of the traditional red brick universities that you will be aware of across the UK, and it is the 9th oldest university. And we do have that beautiful red brick architectural heritage, and I think it's something to be proud of that you're coming to Queen's to a university with an international and global reputation. So we have received various accolades for our work and for our standard of delivery in education and research, both on a regional, national and international stage. So you can see there that Queen's University and the School of Nursing and Midwifery were included in the top 50 worldwide schools of nursing and midwifery. Other awards that we've been given in the school itself, we have an Athena Swan Silver Award, which very few schools of nursing and midwifery across the UK hold. And that's to do with equality and diversity, and that's in recognition of the efforts and the contributions that we have made to how we do our business in the school, and that extends right through to the undergraduate programmes. In the midwifery programmes, we also have been accredited by the Baby Friendly initiative, and that's very useful because as a midwife you will be going out to practice. As a midwife and as a student midwife, you will be going out to practice to work in health and social care trusts who have their maternity units all accredited with the baby friendly status in Northern Ireland. Our students are very happy to study here, particularly in Belfast, and also we've been ranked in the top 1% of universities worldwide. So those are just a few of the things that are very positive about Queen's and that we'd like to share with you today. So moving on to where the School of Nursing and Midwifery sits within the wider university, there are 3 faculties in Queen's. We are part of the Faculty of Medicine and Life Sciences, and we share that faculty with students from medicine, dentistry and biomed, biological sciences and pharmacy. There are 2 pre-registration midwifery programmes at Queen's. One is the direct entry programme, which is the programme that you're holding an offer for today. And that's the 3-year programme, and this year we have additional places. We have an additional 25 places which have been provided and commissioned by the Department of Health, and that's really in recognition of the workforce need in Northern Ireland. We also have the Midwifery Studies programme, which is for nurses who wish to become midwives. So that is a shorter programme and it does also have a smaller cohort. I've just included the nursing numbers there so that you can see that the midwifery cohorts overall in the school are much smaller. Those will be the first year cohorts, but you need to bear in mind that we will have 5 cohorts of midwifery students, and from time to time we do bring you all together to share and to learn. And when you're in practice you will also learn with other intakes, because there may be overlap at certain periods of your programme where you can learn from more senior students. You can expect world-class teaching at Queen's. We have received many nominations and awards for good teaching, excellent teaching in the school, and that's really as a result of the experienced members of staff that we have, but also our practice partners who contribute to our programmes. So people who are working in practice, maybe in specialisms, can bring in that up-to-date knowledge and clinical relevance for us. Our lecturers also work very closely with the researchers in the school, so research projects that are ongoing we integrate into our education programmes. The midwifery staff at Queen's, then, you can see them here, we're quite a small team, usually around 10, although that can vary at any one time. We have a programme lead for each of the programmes, one for sciences and one for studies, and then you will see the names on the screen here will also be module leads for the modules that you will take over the course of your programme. It's very likely you'll meet most of these lecturers probably in your first year at Queen's, and that's the benefit of a small team, that actually we teach across the modules. So although there is a module lead, you will meet other members of staff who will contribute to that module. You will also be supported in practice by a linked lecturer or more, one or two. We are attached to each trust, and that means then that the linked lecturers are responsible for supporting you in practice, supporting you in terms of your requirements for assessment, but also if there are any other needs that you might have or any problems that you may have in practice. You will also be allocated a practice assessor and a practice supervisor in practice who will support you through your practice learning. And the other thing to mention is that all students in the school have a personal tutor, and the personal tutor will meet with you every time you are in a theory block in the university and above that if need be. And that personal tutor role is very much separate in the sense that it's a pastoral support for you should you be going through difficulties. And usually at some point over the 3 years, student may face difficulties, and it's good to have someone that you can talk to separate to your academic work or your module coordinator for that support. So the facilities we have in the School of Nursing and Midwifery, as you will know, we are based in the MBC, which is a relatively new building. There are a variety of classrooms and rooms, accommodation that we can use to support our teaching, both in groups, lecture theatres or self-directed learning in the library. The library is on the ground floor of the MBC. We also have high-spec computing facilities across the campus, not just in the MBC. And I'm excited to share with you that we have a new SIM centre which is planned for opening in autumn of 2020. COVID has had a little bit of impact on that in terms of some of the building work, but we are hoping that it will open, and that will be very much to facilitate interdisciplinary learning. So that will be with students from other disciplines in our faculty. Midwifery at QUB then, our aim really is to equip you with the knowledge, skills and attributes to deliver women and family-centred care, which is safe and effective primarily. Our values, these are the values that we would expect our midwives to have at the end of their programme, things that are important to us, important for our profession, and also important for you on a personal level, things that we value highly in the delivery of our care. So the programme itself is a combination of university-based time and clinical-based time. You may know that that is on a 50-50 approach, so you will spend half of your programme in university across the 3 years and the other 50% in clinical practice. Clinical practice could be across the Health and Social Care Trust in Northern Ireland. You will be allocated to a specific trust for a period of time in order to gain familiarity and continuity with your programme. It is a full-time programme in the university. There's no part-time option, and that also means then when you go to practice, that is a full-time working week in practice, and that is really across 24/7. So it could be, you could have night duty, you could have unsocial hours, you could be working at the weekend. Student evaluations for our programmes are generally very positive. We have found that students love both being in theory and also practice. When they have a period of theory, generally they're looking forward to getting into practice and consolidating those skills that they have been learning about theory of. And equally, when the practice period is coming to an end, sometimes it's quite nice to get back into a university setting and have a much more stable working week on a 9 to 5 more or less basis. Your learning will be supported by mentors or practice assessors or practice supervisors when you are in placement, and really we work together in a partnership to develop your programme and to develop you as a person and also as a future midwife. We have some future opportunities, and I suppose this is really to consider that midwifery is a profession which requires lifelong learning, so your learning will not stop when you finish with us after your 3 years. There are other modules that will enable you to develop your skills, for example ultrasound or midwifery examination of the newborn. On a small note to mention that the NMC have developed new proficiencies for this registration as a midwife, and examination of the newborn is now a skill that needs to be incorporated into the undergraduate programme rather than a postgraduate or post-registration level. So that is something we'll be talking a little bit more to you about as you will be transitioning. You'll be the final intake of the current curriculum. The short courses, there are short courses in neonatal, and also there's the Masters in Advanced Professional Practice, and you would take a maternal and child health pathway with optional modules within that theme. We also have midwives in our team who have undertaken their PhD, and those are very useful skills. Research and evidence-based practice is very important to us and for our practice. So it's good to collaborate and work with our colleagues who are involved in doing research. Currently, we have a maternal and child health research theme in the school, and many of us interact with that research theme. We also build that into our education programmes, so we would learn more about research that is ongoing and the findings and what is happening around us. We also have midwives currently undertaking their PhD with us in school, and I'm sure you will meet them as you continue on your programme. So at this point, really, I have no further information to share with you at this stage, but I know that we are going to give you the opportunity to answer some further questions. And that really is provided through the Zoom sessions, or a couple of those sessions on the 29th of May. And we'd be very pleased if you would join us, and if you have any queries. If you're not able to join those sessions, please email any further queries in to the email address below, which is nur.registry@qub.ac.uk. So I would just like to wish you all the best for your future studies, and I look forward to seeing you in September. Thank you.